So, hello again. I feel like, okay, camera's there, but I'm gonna look at myself because I need to see if I got boogers in my nails and shit. But this is not how I wanted to start this video, but we already started, so we're gonna keep it rolling, okay? This is not a movie, this is real life. So, I feel like there are two main reasons why, and those are like broad, why people actually are quitting their 9 to 5s right now. One is because they actually feel burnt out and kind of see that or realize that you're putting all your effort into building someone else's dream. And two, delusional. Like not even making the proper steps, like doing the right things, not even seeking like guidance before you even decide to just be like, oh, well, I quit. Okay, so I'm gonna say what I mean by that. 1 minute. I'm just trying to fix my camera. Okay, and only reason why I know these things is because of doing my own research and literally asking questions. So I'm gonna start with the not delulu one, the one where people actually realize that you're doing all of this to build someone else's dream. In that, like, sometimes I just go online and like I would Google certain like specific jobs, maybe like, for example, a bank manager. Like, especially, it depends on the place where you live too, right? The competition there. And sometimes I read the responsibilities, the like what you need to be doing for that job, and it's just so much. Sometimes like it's over 20. And I'm like, how is this person on their own doing all these things? So I mean, for sure, there are people that literally go to school and they're just like beating the books, like people that are really good lawyers, really good CEOs, bank managers, people that are really good at what they do. That is like what they would have to do, like really just be into doing just that and nothing else. And I feel like at some point in your life you realize, wow, especially with social media now, like I'll go on TikTok for 10 minutes and I'll be laughing my ass off. Like these are things that people are doing, like not only to the bare minimum, but the most creative things that it just brings joy to your life. Just makes you laugh, and they're making like so much money off of one video, so I feel like those are reasons that would bring in the delulu people who you're not even half as like creative, but then you decide you want to quit your 9 to 5 to do like social media stuff. But really and truly, sticking with the first part, which is the people that feel like burnt out, the corporate people climbing the corporate ladder, I feel like it could be so much. You're constantly having to negotiate your salary with like the CEOs and stuff. You're constantly having to put yourself out there, sometimes like becoming like a totally different person. Like I've read so many stories of people who said like they had a fake secretary, like I read this story about a black African woman who was in a corporate position, I think as a lawyer, doing extremely well. And her lie, just to put it that way, was that she had a secretary called Matt. Somebody might know this story. A white secretary called Matt, who she used as the male voice to ask for things that she wanted. It was her, but just, like sometimes you have to put on this mask. Like I would even read stories. There's a story that I read about a soccer player. I don't remember his name again. And he said that like he would show up to work always looking angry because he didn't want paparazzi and people to bother him for like interviews. So it's like, just fuck off, because literally you have to do that these days in the world where It's like you have to put on a front, you have to pretend to be what you're not, and some people just aren't good at that. It's like you want to try to go to work with your jolly self, and people look at you like, why is she always happy? You know what I mean? So it's like it takes away sometimes, like the jobs that you have, it takes away from you having to be yourself. You have to literally try to pretend to be something else. I'm not good at that. But I feel like sometimes you just have to sit with yourself and realize that, well, maybe these are the things that I have to do in order to succeed in the way that I want to succeed. So I'm pretty sure that's what like those people do. Another story I read of this girl that said she worked at Spotify, and she said she was working 14-hour days for months, not weeks, for months. And rather than speak up and saying that, you know what, like I've been working 14-hour days for months, it's like it could be frustrating. Why do people allow and it's like that's what I don't understand. Okay? It's just like you feel burnt out. I can't imagine sitting down or doing anything for 14 hours, like just doing a job like this. And it just shows that you don't actually like your job, because if you like your job, some people like their job, like nurses like their job, people that are helping people, and like I feel like could visibly see that they're helping someone else, empathetic, loving, caring people, black people, a lot of people, everybody should be that way. But when you could really see the results, rather than like you're just, like, what do you even do at Spotify? That's tech, and I never liked anything tech. I don't even like math. So God bless you people. But working for 14-hour days for months would definitely make somebody want to kill themselves. And I feel like that's why you see actually a lot of people committing suicide sometimes. But why are you doing that? Why not just speak up and say that, like, this is too much work? People rather swallow their pride and like do these things and then cry to their friends and to their parents. Cry to your manager, like cry to the CEO of the company that you're putting in all this work for. Let them know how you're feeling, because other people might be feeling the same. Instead, like, you guys just stay there and tolerate all these things, and then pride, right? And then you quit. I'm putting in my 2 weeks. Speaking about it helps someone else is basically the point. And then, you don't even have something else lined up. If you quit your job knowing that like you were burnt out and like these were things that you couldn't handle, and rather than talking about it and quitting your job, like these are the questions they're going to ask you when you're applying to other jobs for a position that's similar. It shows that like you put pride in front of everything else rather than speaking up, because you maybe think that, well, if I speak up I risk being fired, so I'm just gonna quit. Meanwhile, somebody else, 5 of your other colleagues are feeling the same way. Just by you speaking up to your manager and to them, you guys could have that conversation and make things better. And that's the point. That's the Delulu ones. Can't ever keep my thoughts straight. It's a problem. I wouldn't say it's a problem. It's just a thing where it's like I think about a lot of things all at once, because like I want to talk about them. I want to address them because I want people to be better. I want the world to be a better place, and it starts with us speaking up, saying how we feel, and working together to make things better for everyone. Anyways, so back to the corporate people. You can quit your 9 to 5 if you feel like you've saved it, you have an emergency fund that's going to last you 6 to 9 months. You have the knowledge. If you're working in finance and stuff, most of the videos you see if you Google like what are the most watched videos these days online, people are always just trying to figure out how to make money. So even commercials these days, it's like how to make money, how to do this. So those are the videos that get like a lot of views. So if you're working in finance and you feel like, well, I have an emergency fund that's 6 to 9 months, and I know so much to the point where I could teach people these things, and I'm going to feel happy because they're gonna leave comments letting me know how I helped them. People always like that. Everybody loves that when people tell them, like, this is how you helped me. People like that feedback. You get it? So, you have that knowledge where you can share it with people. You may not know exactly how it's gonna go. Like Martin Luther King said, you don't have to see the whole staircase, but you just take the first step. But you just know, you're confident in yourself that you know enough that you can teach other people. Then why not? I mean, that is what social media is for right now. And just do it. But being delusional about it and doing it the wrong way is just the wrong way. Other reasons why people mention that they are quitting their 9 to 5s is that they're not feeling challenged enough. They feel burnt out. They're not getting promotions fast enough. Like sometimes it takes 3 years to get promotions, sometimes even 5. It really depends. Again, you can't just be thinking about yourself, which is a thing that everybody does these days. Everybody's just like self. I want to be this, I want to be that. Slow your roll. Maybe ask other people that have been doing the same thing as you. Well, how long did it take you to get a promotion if that's what you're looking for? You get me? Rather than thinking that you deserve things just like you think you deserve 100k followers on TikTok, because learn how to separate things and understand and be realistic. Right, forced to be what they're not. I mean, sometimes you have to be doing like big things. Like one of my friends told me that like there was something at work where he decided, you know what, he's just gonna go home, he's tired. Manager brought him to the back office, started banging the table. You gotta do what you gotta do, okay? You gotta go up on stage, because Brian had to come and he's not coming, and I can't go because I'm on probation. So that is an example of being forced literally out of your comfort zone to do something that you didn't even imagine doing, which could be a good or a bad thing. Another big thing is sometimes people quit because they see that, for certain positions, you're literally just there for a paycheck, because like maybe your mentor, the person who taught you all that which is the story by the way, got fired and you got the position. So it's like, it makes you think, well, that was my mentor, you fired her, now I'm doing what she used to do, next year that could be me. I need to get my shit in order. You get me? It's like not even caring about people and their feelings or anything. It's just like, she's too slow now, she has kids, we need somebody that's gonna, and just like that. And you know what, sometimes that's just how things are, because you sign up, and when you sign up they let you know what the deal is, and then if you're not up to par anymore, sometimes they just have to let you go. Now, with everything you do, you always have a choice, and that's the beauty of it. Aging unhappily, I mean, that's a big one, especially for people that like continuously continue to do the thing that they hate the most, rather than trying to do something else that's going to make you happy. You know, you start off looking all young and beautiful, and before you know it, you're 40, and it's like, damn, where did my life go? I have all this money, but I'm not happy. I haven't even been on a vacation. Even when I'm on vacation, I'm thinking about work. If I quit my job, my husband's gonna leave me. The only reason he's with me is because I have this job. What's gonna happen to my kids? Like, so many things. You know? So many things. But yeah, you know, a lot of people, I mean, depending on the responsibilities of your job, and trust me, I have met people, which is why, like, I would have never been one of those people to be, like, climbing corporate ladders. I'm a Caribbean girl. I like to shake my ass. I like to be on the beach. I like to just be in water, just doing nothing, but just existing. You know, a human being. So that ain't never gonna be me. But I've met people who are, you know, like managers for big companies, and it's like they just look bad. You know, you just look stressed. You're constantly looking at your phone. You're constantly you're complaining. You're not happy. And God bless you, because you could choose to quit, but a lot of people, because of the social status that comes with that job, they will never quit. I'll give you this, and this is, I'm gonna like maybe just cut this short or end it. I have a friend who is from Ghana, okay? And not gonna mention the person's name because this is TMI. A person that I know, I wouldn't say a friend, okay? Not a friend, an acquaintance. And always complaining about his job, project manager. There's a lot in there because, like, sometimes people lie to get a job, and then it's way too much. That's why, like, I would never encourage someone to lie and say that they did this, that, and the third, and go in to get a job when you know you didn't do these things. Because what's in the dark always come to light, and it just puts so much more pressure on you, because now you have to go learn all these things and be working, and like with it in the back of your head that like you lied, so you're constantly having to try to find ways to prove yourself worthy when you knew you weren't in the first place. Anyways, to the story. So burnt out, he would complain that he can't sleep at nighttime, like he has a hard time sleeping. And when I knew it was bad, this is how I knew. We were hanging out one night, acquaintances, and this guy, you know those wine bottles with the, not the unscrew one, the one with the, help me out here, what is it called? The clogged one with the wood inside the hole. Let's just put it that way. And you know, like you have a wine opener where you have to turn it to turn in, and okay, I had to laugh off camera because it's fucking funny. This guy literally screwed the wine opener. You know how you have to screw it in? Turned it in and turned it back out the same way he screwed it in, and expected it to be open. That was a shocker for me. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you, because it's like it makes absolutely no sense. Like, if you understand what I'm trying to say, like, you screw it in, you're supposed to at least screw it in, make sure it's latched in, and then pull it out. My guy screwed it in and screwed it back out and thought it was gonna open. I don't know how. I told him about it. I was like, afterwards, because I didn't want to embarrass him, like, I just helped him open it. Like, I just screwed it back in and I opened it, and then like the next day I was like, are you okay? Because how that happened, like, I just wanted to mention. I didn't make it too long. Then he said, you know what, like, I know I messed up there, like that you know, that because that was a lot. That was a lot. And I feel like I don't even understand how you get, like, the moral of the story is you don't ever want to be in a position where you're working so much that you forget how to open a bottle of wine. Simply put. Um, that was hella fucking funny. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, I'm gonna always have that fucking story in my head to give as a example of what not to do. Anyways, but you know, right? Did we talk about the Delulu ones? Well, we did. It's kind of like if you're Delulu, try to not be Delulu unless you have like a plan, which is something that you have to have. Learn to speak up. Put your pride to the side. Speak up because you have to think long term. I feel like I don't know what people do with their brain and their minds anymore. Then again, like, I'm not one of those people that work 14 hours a day, so it's like I have my mind to myself. You get me? Like, I be sleeping, when I clock in at 8, I clock out at 4. I'm not thinking about like work no more. You get me? So though I feel like that's the job that people want to have. I also understand like not a lot of people are in tech, so is there a demand for that? I feel like there's a demand for people in tech, but it's also like hard to learn. I think like whoever came up with like AI is just trying to figure out how do we fix this problem, because it's a lot working 14 hours a day with like what I would think numbers and just like programmable things. Again, not for me. But yeah, it really makes you just trip. It makes you like lose yourself, because people are people. You're not you're a human being. You're not a robot. And it's just so unfair to ask people to put that much time into working for you, even if you're paying them $50 an hour, which I don't know if anybody gets paid $50 an hour, but like, if people are going to be doing that type of work, my suggestion is this, okay? If you're going to be working 14-hour days for months, just like nurses go to work and they have long days, sometimes 16 hours. But guess what? They work shift work. So it's like 4 days on, 3 days on, 3 days on, 4 days off. People that work in tech need that too. Like, that would be something that I would recommend you get, because the burnout, it's just kind of like you have to have enough people, set it up in a way, use your brain, think about people and their health, and set it up in a way where they can get the time to rest, because your brain can only handle so much. You want to do other things that you like with your life at the end of the day. Maybe you want to make videos and post it. There are things that people like to do with it in their spare time. Sleep, cook meals, and post it online. Everybody wants to be creative. It is a right. Everybody has that creativity in them that they want to create and put it out there. Why should some people be allowed to do it, use people in such demanding ways, and then just not give them the opportunity to do that for themselves? You get? So I feel like that is just one tiny suggestion that I have, is to pay people enough for using their brains to help build your dream. That's one. Two, create an environment where they can have enough time to rest so that they don't have insomnia, not know how to open wine bottles, like just lose themselves completely. Like, it's ridiculous, and I don't even understand why they don't have people doing like studies on this. Well, I do understand, because they don't give a fuck about people, which is really why people are quitting their jobs anyways. But again, you're welcome. Travel time, like vacations for such people, should be at least a month. If you can't do the shift work thing that I suggested, like the nurses. Even then, I feel like 2 weeks a year for vacation is ridiculous. I mean, much things wrong with the system that people are forced to be a part of. And again, like I mentioned earlier, if people just keep having that pride and deciding, I'm gonna put in my 2 weeks, rather than speak up and talk about it. Imagine if everybody who felt that way spoke up. The world would be a different place. So we know why, but stop just thinking about yourself. Think about everyone and make a difference. Stop just trying to show up and be selfish. Think about other people, wanting to help others. If you're gonna quit your job, make sure people know why. Speak up, so that enough people speak up. If everybody speaks up when they feel a way, it's gonna register. And things will be different. But yeah, I think that's all I have for today. That's really all I wanted to say, because I like to talk. And if you watch this video and you think I look gorgeous, which I do think I look gorgeous, and what I said, because I know what I said hit real hard, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm an observer, so I'm gonna observe and I'm gonna talk about it, because I'm a sociologist. University of Toronto, sociology major, minor in politics and Canadian studies. Let's just put that out there. So I'm not really out here speaking from my ass. I really actually do my research and I say what needs to be said. And I'm very proud of that. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in and coming to my TED Talk. This is kind of long, but the girl be saying what she gotta say. And yeah, thank you for watching. Be a better person. Put pride aside and help the world be a better place. Also, comment, tell me what you think. Even if it all should always be good things. Tell me good things, but also tell me your experiences, and if my suggestions are valid. I think they are, but what you think. And make sure you subscribe. I love when people subscribe. It just makes my heart fill with joy every time. So